All right. The next song we're going to do is No Matter What by Badfinger, a band that came out, I think they started in the late 60s actually, I think under a different name, but they started out in the early 70s, I think, early to mid, 71, 2, 3, something around there. Not totally sure, I should have researched this, but I'm just going from memory of things that I have heard and read and whatever. I was very young when they were popular, so I certainly don't remember them from when they were popular. But it's a great song, and it's interesting because there was, I had read, a lot of talk when they first came out that they were perhaps the Beatles reunited under a different name, like a secret name. And when you listen to the song, if you think about that, it's like, okay, wow, it like does have like a definite Beatles vibe. And a lot of their songs do. So not only was there that sort of rumor, but members of the Beatles, Badfinger was signed to the Beatles record label, so that was another connection. And I know George Harrison and I believe Paul McCartney had something to do with the band Badfinger at different times. I think they helped produce an album or worked with them on something or co-wrote a song or something. But there was definite Beatles connections with Badfinger. Kind of a lot of connections. But as far as I know, unless it's still like a secret conspiracy, as far as I know, it was not the Beatles reunited. It was different guys. So anyway, this song, No Matter What, is a very cool song. And it's a fairly easy song with a couple of neat little twists to it. The chords are all really simple. So anyway, let's excuse me. Let's dive into it. Okay, so the intro actually has a definite guitar lick, what is called slang, a guitar riff, a guitar motif is a classical music word for, it's just a little guitar thing that happens that is catchy and repeats and whatever. So when you listen to the song, you'll hear exactly what it is, because it happens at the beginning, I believe 3 times, excuse me, and then ends just on an A chord. So it's an A chord, so 2 1 0 0, of course, and then it has that little dun 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 dun, and that is simply the E string, hammer onto the 2nd fret, and then the A string. So A, and then a stop. So yes, 3 times, and then the 4th time is a stop. And then the verse starts. Excuse me. So the verse starts, no matter what you, or no matter something, I forget exactly. No matter what you do, I think, or say, or that pops up a bunch in the song, and I forget exactly which one is first. But so then it's an A chord for 2 measures, then a B minor 7, and on a ukulele, an easy way to play that is just barring across the 2nd fret. But that note seems to be a little prominent. It's a B, so that's totally fine. But the seven note sort of gets lost a little bit. So you could, if you wanted, what I'm doing is 2, 2, and then 5th fret, and then 2 again. But when I was playing through it, the B minor just flat, not flat, the B minor just by itself with no 7 seemed to work the best. So I'll just go with the B minor. So A, B minor, then D, E, D, E, A, and then E and a stop. So that's the first verse. Okay, so the intro. Dun, 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 dun. E minor. D, E, D, E, A, E. And that's the first verse. Then it does the second verse. And the second verse is almost exactly the same, except for the ending. Because a songwriting tool is changing something at the end of a part to lead into the next part. Okay, so the first verse is that with the stop on the E, and then dun, 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 and right into the A. A again, B minor 7, or just B minor. E, D, E, D, E, A, and it stays on the A. So that's sort of the lead-in. So you're listening, and you probably don't notice, but subconsciously you may notice like, oh, that's slightly different. And then a new part comes in, and it sort of just gets you sort of alert to the fact that something is now changing, something new is happening. So what it does after that second verse, after the A, it goes into the chorus. Okay, but I did want to talk about that A at the end. So it's A, for 2 measures, but it's really an A with an A sus4 thing happening, which is really easy to do on guitar, and it's fairly easy on a ukulele, but the sus4 note gets buried a little bit in, so I have a slightly more difficult way to play it. It's not terrible, but it's definitely sounds way better. So an A, 2, 1, 0, 0. Then the sus4 is on that C string, play the 2nd fret. So A, sus2, A sus2. So, okay, it sounds nice, but in the song I'm hearing that sus, did I say sus2? It's a sus4. I'm hearing that sus4 higher up. So instead of, you could do the 4th and 5th frets on the A string. So so here how that's higher. And since it's on a thinner string and higher up the neck, there's less mass that's vibrating. So you do have to make sure that you get that to come out nice and clear. And I think that's the rhythm of it, just going from memory. Yeah, that's totally it. Then it goes to the chorus. Excuse me. So F sharp minor 7. I'm just going to go with an F sharp minor. B7, 2 3 2 2. The F sharp minor 7, 2 1 2 0. Just in case you didn't know that. B7, E7, then an A7, in the E7 4 4 4 5, in the A7 0 1 0 0, D7 2 2 2 3, B minor, and throws that in. I'm pretty sure every time the A pops up twice for the ending of a section, it does that. It just sounds nice, little ornamentation that's added in. Then the second half of the chorus, F sharp minor 7, I just do an F sharp minor, B7, E7, A7, D7, B minor, G, E, and a stop. Then it goes into the verse. In the next verse, so this is now verse 1, verse 2, then a chorus, then verse 3. And it is with the A's at the end. So then we get to the guitar solo. So it's slightly different. Is it slightly different? No, it's not. I lied. It's a verse. I just wrote it out a little different, but it's a verse. So, excuse me. So the verse A, B minor 7. I just do a B minor 7. D, E, D, E, A. And then we go to a chorus. I'm trying to think. Yeah, we'll just go through the song and then I'll go back to the guitar solo part. So then we're at a chorus. So it's the same thing. And then to a verse, excuse me, and the verse is exactly the same too. No, it's not the same. I wrote it out. I have messy writing. My goodness. It actually stops at the end of the verse. And now I remember. So, the end of the verse. I think it ends right there. And then the outro just repeats the. That's the end of the song. So, I'm just going to go listen to it really quick and make sure that I have those stops at the very end correct. And then we'll take a look at the little guitar solo, which is super neat and really easy to play on ukulele. So, okay, I just re-listened to it and I think I was right, but I think I played it where I stopped the A at the last verse at the end a little short. So the last verse is, I don't remember if I did or didn't, but the last verse is dun, 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 A, B minor, 7, D, E, D, E, A, D, E, this is the outro, D, E, A, D, E, D, E, and that's the ending. And the little sus4 thing does change up a little bit with the rhythm. So the very ending. So instead of, it was dun, 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 the ending is dun, 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 dun. It has like that kind of slight offbeat kind of a dun, dun, end to it. But that's the whole song. So now, the guitar solo. The guitar solo is played with a slide, and it sounds very much like George Harrison's playing, like his slide playing. And you know, I should probably Google and see if it actually is. Because what happens a lot is people will perform on people's songs uncredited. So in other words, so-and-so will be working with such and such of a company, a record label, management, whatever. And technically, legally, they maybe can't do something on a friend's song just for fun. It has to go through like contracts and all of that. So a lot of times they'll just do it and just not get paid and just do it as a favor, like just a friend, whatever, just for fun. And then, of course, later on, eventually, it'll come out that, like, oh, that was so-and-so on it. And it happens, like, a lot. It happens all the time. So I should Google and see if it is. But anyway, so the guitar solo played with a slide. It's like a metal bar, metal or glass, sometimes ceramic, like a tube that goes over a finger. And then you can play, and instead of pressing down on frets, the slide, metal, glass, whatever, acts as a fret on top of the strings instead of under the strings. So instead of pressing down against the fret, you're pressing the slide against the string. And then you can go and get different sounds with, so it's like a movable fret, if that makes sense. You know, I have one somewhere. Hold on a second. I must, yes I do. In my little work bag, I have all kinds of stuff. Okay, so, see, it's like a tube. Okay, and then, so see how there's no, it doesn't go, you know, do-do-do-do-do, each fret. It's nice and smooth. So that's what it's played on the song. But for ukulele, super easy. So 7, 4 on the highest string, the A string. 7, 4, 7, 5 on the E string. So it repeats that. Then it goes up to the 9th fret. 9, 5, 9, 7, 9, 5, 9, 7, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5 on the E string. So, really simple. And let me see, can I play it? See, on a ukulele, because the strings are plastic, nylon, and not long, and not a lot of mass. They don't vibrate as much. So this isn't going to produce as loud and sustaining of a sound, meaning the note's not going to continue on for a long time like it would on a guitar. But that's what it is. And technically the end goes up an octave, so it hits that and goes up an octave to the next A up. But on a ukulele it doesn't come out very loud, so you could just stay on that A note at the end. And that is no matter what. So I just Googled it, and according to the internet, nobody other than the four guys in Badfinger played on the album. Played on the song. The guitar solo was done by the lead guitarist in the band. But it definitely does. I didn't think it was George Harrison, but it definitely does sound like George Harrison. His slide playing. So. Again, there's that sort of Beatles possible sound connection thing. And when I Googled it, I also found out that it came out in 1970, so a little bit earlier than I had thought, which really was like the end of the Beatles, like right there, like bang. The Beatles broke up and Badfinger came out. So it really does seem suspicious. I can totally see how that connection could be made. It did come out on Apple Records, which is the Beatles record label, meaning not the record label that they were on. They owned the record label. It was theirs. So again, seems kind of interesting. And it was engineered by Jeff Emmerich, who engineered lots of Beatles stuff. So, but he worked for Apple, so that only makes sense. But just all those connections. So anyway, No Matter What by Badfinger, it's really cool, and they were a really cool band. So, hope you enjoyed.